Morning everyone. How are you all? I hope you all are fine and doing your study very carefully. So, in previous video we have done reproduction part 3 in which we have covered male reproductive system and female reproductive system. In this video we are going to cover fertilization, test tube babies, cloning, Metaphoresis. What we are going to cover? We are going to cover fertilization, test tube babies, cloning, Metaphoresis. I think in previous video everything is clear to you. So let us start with today's lecture, and our first topic is fertilization. What is our first topic? Our first topic is fertilization. Is this clear? So, fertilization is a process of reproduction. The sperms are injected into vagina of the female's body with the help of penis. Is this clear? What is fertilization? Fertilization is a process of reproduction. Number 1, it is a process of reproduction. In this process, what happens? Your sperms are injected into vagina of female body with the help of penis. Is this clear? Now, when a sperm fuses with the egg or ovum, when a sperm is a male part, okay, and with the egg or ovum, fertilization take place. Fuses means mixed. Okay. So when a sperm fuses with the egg or a ovum, fertilization take place. Now fertilization take place inside the female's body. Clear? Where fertilization take place? Fertilization take place inside the female body. Now, the nuclei of the sperm and the egg fuses to form a zygote. When they fuses, what they form? They form zygote. This thing we have done in earlier video. What is zygote? In which tube? In a fallopian tube. Is this clear? Thus, a zygote is a first cell of the new individual. Is this clear? I am reading this slide once more. Listen carefully. For the process of reproduction, the sperms are injected into the vagina of the female's body with the help of the penis. When a sperm fuses with egg or ovum, fertilization takes place. Fertilization takes place inside the female's body. The nuclei of the sperm and the egg fuses to form the zygote. In which tube? In fallopian tube. Thus, a zygote is a first cell of the new individual. Is this clear? Now, the zygote divides repeatedly to form an embryo. Okay. Now, what happens after zygote? What forms? Embryo. During this process, the fertilized egg moves from the oviduct to the uterus. Now, zygote form in a oviduct. Now, when this zygote converts into embryo, this fertilized egg moves to oviduct to uterus. Now, zygote is present in where? In oviduct. Clear? Now, when this zygote convert into embryo, this embryo will move towards the uterus. Is this clear? And get attached to the wall of the uterus. A small tube-like structure called placenta grows at the place where the embryo fixes itself to the uterus wall. Okay. What I will say here? A small tube-like structure called placenta. When your embryo attached with the wall of uterus, there a small structure, placenta grows. Clear? Now, after 8 weeks, the main organs like hands, legs, head, eyes, ears are formed in embryo and it is called a fetus. First is zygote, okay, which is formed in a oviduct. After zygote, zygote will convert into embryo. This embryo will produce in a uterus. Now, after 8 months, what happened? Formation of legs, hand and eyes and ears are formed in the embryo. Now this embryo will convert in, is called as your fetus. So the fetus derives nutrition through the placenta. The fetus grows slowly and after 36 weeks of development it is ready to be born. Is this clear? I am reading the slide once more. The zygote divides repeatedly to form an embryo. During this process, the fertilized egg moves from oviduct to the uterus and get attached to the wall of the uterus. A small tube-like structure called placenta grows at the place where the embryo fixes itself to the uterus wall. After 8 weeks, the main organs like hands, legs, head and eyes and ears are formed in the embryo and is called fetus. The fetus derives nutrition through the placenta. The fetus grows slowly and after 36 weeks of development it is ready to be born. Is this clear? Now this is the image. Our first step during the fertilization, the sperm and ovum fuses to form a zygote in a female body, inside the female body. Here this is a sperm comes and from the male. Okay, male produces sperm. From the female body what will come? Ovum will come. Okay, they will fuses. Fuses means mix. And what they will form? They will form a zygote. Okay, after zygote divides to produce a large number of cells. Now it will divide and it will produce large number of cells, and this large number of cells is called as embryo. Now the zygote will develop where? In a embryo. Now after embryo, development of continues and baby is born. The baby grows into a child. Now child grows into a young adult capable of producing gametes. Is this clear? This is the whole process of your fertilization. Is this clear? Shall we move ahead? Now our next topic is test tube babies. In some women, the fallopian tubes or oviducts are blocked. Hence, the sperm cannot reach the egg. Is this clear? In some women, what is the problem? Her fallopian tubes or oviduct are blocked. Because of that, your sperm cannot reach the egg. So in such cases, a technique is called vitro fertilization is used, and it is short form is IVF. The male parent sperms and the female parent egg are collected and kept in a test tube for a few hours in laboratory. If fertilization takes place, the zygote is allowed to develop in the test tube for about a week. Understood? In a normal case, this zygote will produce in the oviduct. But here the oviduct is blocked, so this zygote will produce outside the body in a laboratory, okay, in a test tube. After the producing zygote, what will happen? They insert that zygote into the female uterus, where the further development take place. Okay, the embryo and the fetus develop inside the woman's womb like a normal baby, and babies born through this technique are called as test tube babies. Okay, where your zygote produce outside the female body. Why? Because here the fallopian tubes of the female are blocked. Clear? Now cloning. Cloning is a process of producing an exact copy of complete organism or cell by a non-sexual method. Here you are producing a exact copy but without sexual method. That means non-sexual method. A clone is a photocopy of an original. The individual is a physical and genetically identical to its parents. Lan Walmut and his colleagues were the first to clone the first mammal. Okay, they produced a ship named Dolly on 5th July 1996 by the method of non-sexual method. Dolly was formed by taking a cell from the udder of her biological mother. Her embryo was inserted in the sheep ovum. The embryo was then placed inside the female sheep that went through a normal pregnancy. She was cloned at the Roslin Institute in Scotland. She lived there from her birth in 1996 until her death 2003 when she was 6. So basically your cloning is a process where you produce exact photocopy of the individual by non-sexual method. And the first animal in which this method is performed was sheep. Is this clear? Now our last topic is Metaphoresis. Our last topic is Metaphoresis. See, you have already learned in earlier classes about the life cycles of frog and butterfly. These animals reproduce by laying eggs. The young one of these animals look like very different from the adult. Is this clear? The young ones undergo drastic change before changing into an adult. And this process is called as metaphoresis. So basically, where your young ones is completely changed than adult, and the process through which they are changing is known as your metaphoresis. Meta means after and morphe means form. So let us study the bicycle of frog and butterfly to understand metaphoresis. First, study the life cycle of butterfly. The life cycle of a butterfly involves the following stages. First is egg. This egg will convert into caterpillar. This caterpillar will convert into pupa, and this pupa will convert into butterfly. So if you look at the diagram carefully, you will notice that caterpillar and the pupa look like very different. See, this is your caterpillar and this is your pupa. They look like very different. Clear? So the changes that occur during a different stage of butterfly are controlled by two hormones, that is Zebuline hormone and ecdysone. Is this clear? So this process is known as metaphoresis. Basically a metaphoresis is a process in which your young ones is completely changed with the adult. Okay, and this process is known as your metaphoresis. Now, life cycle of frog. Life cycle of frog. So, the life cycle of frog has 4 distinct stages. Number 1, egg. Then tadpole, froglet and adult frog. The tadpole looks like very different from the adult frog. The various changes that occur in the life cycle of frog are controlled by the hormone thyroxine. Okay, both the caterpillar and tadpole undergo drastic change before becoming an adult. In butterfly, caterpillar, and if you are talking about frog, it is tadpole. So, here the process in which there is the drastic change, okay, that process is known as your metaphoresis. This is a diagram. Egg will convert into tadpole will convert into froglet will convert into adult frog. Now this adult frog will again lays the egg. Then this egg will convert into tadpole will convert into froglet will convert into again then adult frog. Like this cycle will repeat on. Is this clear? Now No, I know. Now we will do a quick revision what we have covered in this video, in this chapter. After studying this chapter, what you will know? You will know reproduction is a process that helps in the continuity of life. Is this clear? Animals reproduce asexually or sexually. The asexual reproduction in animals take place by binary fission. In sexual reproduction, the male gamete sperm fuses with the female gamete and produce a zygote. Fertilization can be internal or external. In sexual reproduction, the male gamete fuses with the female gamete and it is produced zygote. The various organs of the male reproductive systems are a pair of testes, a pair of sperm ducts and a penis. The various organs of the female reproductive system are a pair of ovaries, a pair of oviduct, uterus and vagina. After fertilization, the zygote divides repeatedly to form the embryo. The embryo develops into a fetus. The life cycle of insects and frogs involve different stages, and the young one of these animals look like very different from the adult. And this process and these changes are known as your metaphoresis. With this, we have finished our reproduction chapter. I think everything is very clear to you. Now, now I will send you question answer of this. If you are having any doubt, you can ask me anytime. Thank you and have a nice day.